I think we are live out in the middle of nowhere here. Let me double check for my mental. But I think we got everything going. Go to our channel here. First time that I've ever gone live, so I just want to make sure that we are A-OK, functioning, and good to go. Sure enough, here we are. All right, cool. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so welcome in the Best Ball Happy Hour. Today we're going to be doing maybe 2 or 3 Chihuahua drafts. I'm hoping for the best. Hoping for some good drafts here. I've been enjoying these a lot more than I thought. So I've done a lot more than I've expected of them. So, I'm quiet. Thank you for letting me know right off the bat. Let's do some things and some adjustments and see if we can turn that out. Thank you for letting me know there, Dustin. All right. I can fix that pretty easily, I believe. What about that? Does that sound any better, Dustin? Hoping it is. Let's go ahead and get our drinks going and let the games begin. Better. Okay. I'll go up just a little bit more and you can tell me if it's not so good, not so bad, too much, too little, whatever it is. One more. All right. Let's go. Just a little bit. About somewhere around there should be all right, is what I'm guessing. Go ahead and get queued up and get into a draft here. See how it goes. All right. Yeah, these Superflex drafts have been a lot of fun for me. I've been going 4 quarterbacks super early and seemed like been taking a lot of flyers on the wide receivers and running backs, and I've actually ended up liking quite a bit of my teams. A lot of them have turned out pretty okay. I do need to tweet out the stream. I did not do that yet. I'm kind of doing this off the cuff, late decision. I had a video draft recorded from last night, but I wanted to share a little bit of fun, do everything live, and let me go ahead and get this on the Twitterverse. We are drafting out of the 3 spot. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get one of the big 3 quarterbacks. That's the first time in any of these. The earliest I got was 4. So Hurts Allen is who I want to go here. If I get Mahomes, that's not the worst thing for me. But I'm excited. I am very excited to get one of these big 3. Dustin, have you done quite a bit of these drafts at all? I think this is about number, I think this might be 10 or 11 for me. So I'm going to get about halfway through my fills. Normally I do about 15 of these small entry ones. Seems like it's kind of my range of numbers of how I like to do, or where I like do my entries. Last minute best ball happy hour. Come say hi. We got Jalen Hurts right off the bat. Got my favorite player. We're repping the Eagles today. Turns out that everything's going right our way. I like it. 18. Ooh, nice. Any drafts that you feel very confident about? I would say I've had a few that I've been really obsessed with. It was my very first one. I was obsessed with the team. I got 4 pretty good, pretty strong quarterbacks right off the bat, and then my running back room was pretty good, and I felt safe about the receivers maintaining solid grounds. Saving the last few, don't blame me there. What's up, Fantasy Garage? Thanks for coming and hanging out for a little bit. This was super last minute, and I just decided to go ahead and do some videos here. Yeah, I think the max entry is 25 in this one. I'll probably get close to maxing out, but normally, like I said, I stick around 15 entries. Fantasy Garage, we got Hurts right off the bat in the Eagles gear today. I think that was a true calling for us. Got lucky. This is the first one I've actually got Hurts in. I haven't drafted a whole lot of Hurts even in the regular drafts. Always last minute. Yeah, man, I feel that. Feel that. Had a long day at work, kind of a weird day at work for me, and stressful drive home. It was an hour and a half drive home almost, it felt like. What's my quarterback strategy for San Francisco? Oh, in the Superflex. So I've been going 4 quarterbacks before pick 90, or around pick 90 typically. It seems like that has been my best result in teams where I like the overall group. When I do that, it seems like I've been taking one running back and then like a wide receiver in the middle to have that. It seems obviously a lot of the elite people slip in this, so I'm going that route a lot. Yeah, we get a lot of stack value too with that. Hurts Daniel Jones is good. That's a week 16 stack, I believe. The Eagles are playing the Giants that week there. So that's a good one there to have too, especially because I like Daniel Jones a lot. He's a guy that's been rising for me solely for the rushing upside, and he's kind of later guy you can get later in drafts. So that's exciting for me. But he's going at a weird range here. I haven't actually been able to get him in any Superflex yet. I don't believe my quarterback room isn't as diverse as I like. But it seems like I've been getting a lot of late round, like not late round, but late for this. Sam Howell and Brock Purdy are people I've been taking a lot as my QB4, and that feels really, really good to me. I don't know, like, if I'm taking those guys as my worst case scenario. Obviously, we don't know a lot about Howell going into this year, but I feel pretty okay with him. I might go someone like Kirk Cousins here, and then or Daniel Jones, push it on the way back around, depending who's still on the board, who we got comes around here. I do, like I said, like the idea of just going A.J. Brown, getting the super stack, and then hopeful Daniel Jones. I'm okay with that. It seems like if I can get somebody more like a Ramondre or an ETN as my RB1 in these drafts, I've been liking that quite a bit. I haven't had this A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts stack in a long, long time, so that would make me feel good here. And I probably can get Devonta Smith pretty safely, I feel like. Good news, too, is I'm not that sick anymore. I have that annoying cough, but it's a little less stressful. 7 straight quarterbacks. Wow, that's a little scary in my eyes. Were they, Dustin, were they late in the draft, or was it kind of earlier in the draft? Because if it was late in the draft, then I kind of get it. I've seen a lot of guys have like go zero QB. It seems like almost in the round like 8 or 9, and I mean you're not getting in Superflex. It's just I don't know. It's just what I'm partial to. One thing we don't really talk about much is the league that me and Alex play in together. Our primary league is so it's an 8-man league, so it's already weird. But we go very very heavy on how many people we play. So we play 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 3 flex, tight end, and the defense. So we're kind of like a little more diverse in the world here, I guess, of going that route. When it comes to Superflex, let's get that A.J. Brown stack. I love it. We're starting off just the way I could, just the way I like it. So yeah, if I get Kirk Cousins or Daniel Jones here, I'm fine with that. I actually like Daniel Jones more because we can get a late round tight end stack and go 1 tight end. That feels good to me. Early. Yeah, that's a little much for me. I do feel like you're missing out on a lot of value if you go early because there's so many people that are falling late. Like, I don't know. Just like the people you're getting around the 70s and 80s even at the positional players are awesome. Like, here's a perfect example. We can look. Evan Ingram's going 112. Darren Waller's going 96. I really do think like those 2 guys still have a pretty high ceiling in my eyes. Darren Waller is the guy that I like most in that scenario, just because I think he is going to be the target leader in the Giants. Mainly because we don't have to worry about his role as much. It's a little more defined in my eyes, so that's kind of where I'm leaning in that. I went Hurts, Brown, Bijan, and from the 2 spot, That's pretty good. I like that. Bijan is definitely a guy. Jones comes off the board. It's kind of unfortunate for us, but we'll go Captain Kirk here. Don't mind going that route. He's I'm trying to remember where he was. Underdog tweeted something recently that was talking about where Kirk's like over under was in comparison. I want to say it was to like Herbert or something, and with their ADP being so many rounds apart or something like that. But they have the same over under essentially when it comes to touchdowns and passing yards this year. Obviously, Herbert's just in a theoretical, more high-powered offense, just because we know we have two pretty elite wide receivers. But to argue on the Minnesota side, we obviously know Justin Jefferson's the 101 in 99% of real drafts. And then we got Addison coming in. Hawkinson's been pretty okay. And even KJ Osborne had a few games where he was like booming off the board. Let me flip over to this. That's my worst habit that I don't have is I end up forgetting to flip over to this board. Let's just get a perspective of where we're looking at. 46, Derek Carr still on the board. I might go that route. Minnesota, we got to look Green Bay. We could get the stack with Jordan Love early. If any of these three running backs are here on the board, I'm going to take them as my one comfortably, or I could push one more deeper and get ETN, which is fine. I like ETN as a one this year. He's definitely been a guy that me and Alex have talked about on end. We've had a big argument about him and Najee as a whole. Us both being very in on Jaylen Warren, especially with him being a Pittsburgh fan. Being very in on Jaylen Warren, it kind of knocks my Najee talk, as we discussed in one of our videos. But I don't know where I feel Najee is gonna go. I think he's a safe 2. I like taking him as an RB2, but I don't like him as an RB1. As an RB1 on the team, I want a guy I feel like that can put up 20 points on any given week. I feel like Najee's just kind of a consistent 10 to 15. So that's where I think our disagreement came quite a bit. So I think we're going to have to go Jordan Love here. This guy coming up right now might take quarterback here, as everybody else has 2 around him. So we got 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Stafford or Jordan Love both come off the board in front of us here. If that's the case, we just build around the running back room and be strong in that department. Go ahead and maybe pick up Devontae Smith if he slides even further. That's definitely not going to hurt my fandom and my heart in any way, shape, or form. But definitely if Jordan Love comes off the board, we might push it one more round when it comes to quarterback. Brees comes off the board. Let's go ahead and just look at our ADP 70-75. That should be that Purdy-ish range. Purdy's been flying up the board for me. That's crazy. He's gone up that much recently. These ADPs have skewed so much from when I started doing all these drafts. It's kind of surprising to me. I guess not super surprising, but surprising enough. So I don't mind going CJ Stroud, Sam Howell. I even really don't hate the idea of taking Ryan Tannehill. It seems like he's been a guy that's been flat and like pretty decent. I do like the idea if we can get Jordan Love here. Go ahead. Oh, came off the board. If we get Jordan Love here, then we got a built-in quarterback stack, and then we can build around the receivers later. Maybe even take someone like Madison as our RB2, hopefully. I do see me definitely taking ETN if he's still on board with the second pick. Basically, I'm looking Devontae Smith or Jordan Love here. Devontae Smith is not an option, and like we said, Jordan Love is an option there. So I'm hoping he can hold out for us and keep us happy. Very, very much hoping so. Yeah, and if you guys want to jump in on these drafts in the next couple of rounds here, I'm more than happy to do some drafts with some people. It'd be fun. Haven't done a whole lot of drafts with anybody besides Alex, obviously. T. Higgins still on the board. That's a hard one to pass on for me if he's still there on this come around. Man, big name there. Out of the people next here, ETN would be my pick. If we're looking, there's a strong chance that Aaron Jones or Madison does fall to us. That would be an option coming back here. I would like those guys more. But if any of the quarterbacks in this range do fall, I've been really liking the idea of taking Kyler more, solely because he is a super high upside guy. I mean, he can be one of those guys that puts up 40 points, and that's in Superflex especially. It's pretty good. So I don't have much interest in taking Andrews here with the current build. I don't have to even worry about that. I could get Goddard. I could go Hawkinson if he falls. But I feel okay going Goddard if that's the case. ETN is definitely our pick here. Thanks for taking Najee instead. Debo is another guy that I've been drafting a lot of, but I like ETN in this spot as our RB1. Just a safe pick, and he should, continue to have that explosive upside, 20 points. Good bye correlation with our QBs right now too. 6, 10, 13. So if any of these guys slide, we can fit them in there quite nice. CJ Stroud and Sam Howell both fit in there too, along with Mac Jones. So if we take any of these quarterbacks, I'm pretty all right with that at 70, 75. Looking all right. Got a really good start to this draft. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. See who we can get here. Debo comes off the board. That's the thing that's been most shocking to me is how much everybody has been sliding in these drafts. I don't know. It's just when you see elite wide receivers and stuff that are going this late in the draft, it blows my mind. Truly, it blows my mind. Like Amon-Ra, he's a end of the round first in normal drafts, and now he's going middle of the third. So just crazy to see everybody fall, and then me taking Jordan Love in the fourth is kind of painful to a certain extent, but it turns out all right. Not too stressed about it. Just taking who we can when we can, and easy people to build around. Somebody also we might want to consider is Christian Watson if he's still sliding at this point. I'm also okay going Romeo Doubs. He's another guy that's had some pretty good training camp buzz, but whether he actually stands out when the season starts, that's its own thing. So Aaron Jones is definitely going to be at the top of our list here. I think he's a safe Jordan Love stack. We know that Aaron Jones is a pass catcher, guy that we like to take here and there. Terry McLaurin comes off the board. But if Christian Watson is still there in 9 picks, I think we're more likely to go that route. We'll look at these quarterbacks too, and I might push it. I don't mind pushing it. We'll see what situation we're at. I don't like pushing quarterback a whole lot in these drafts because when they do come off the board, it is a lot and it is scary for us. But I don't know. Christian Watson's still on the board for us, 7 picks away. That's definitely like I said, I don't mind waiting. Let's see what the people at the turn have got here. We got 3 quarterbacks and 1. So this guy's definitely bullish on quarterbacks as well. I would hate to miss on the wide receiver 1 stack in this. That would be a little painful. But we'll see what quarterbacks are hanging around at that point. CJ Stroud comes off quite a bit early. I really don't hate Mac Jones or Desmond Ridder with my second pick. We could also look at Drake London if Watson comes off the board and then go Ridder. That is definitely a safe spot. I think that's the route I'm going to go. I'm going to hope these guys slide a little bit more. I'll lay off Kyler on this one, and I should be able to land potentially both of these guys. It would be scary for me to... I definitely wouldn't get Ridder on the next come around. He wouldn't be here at 94. Especially seems like this draft room is taking quarterbacks early-ish with CJ Stroud coming off a little bit early there. Stroud's another guy I like taking that could end up becoming a little more positive of a player. Easy to get his wide receiver stacks. Kind of like what we're getting right now even. Got to look around our game stacks. I could get Kyler here and Sam Howell comes off the board, and so did Watson. If I went Kyler, I'd have the Eagles stack too, and I'd have both my quarterbacks stacked with each other. Hollywood's still not off the board. We could definitely take Hollywood next pick. Let's do it. Let's risk it. Not even a risk, I don't think. I do think a lot of these Arizona players are coming at a discount right now. This is a stack that I would love as my 1-2 punch. It's hard with some of these big name guys and a lot of upside guys. Excuse me. But if Kyler plays, I really do like this stack as our 1-2 punch. And we can take we don't have to worry about quarterback anymore. We can start thinking tight end. Trey McBride's a good late round tight end to stack. Along with Luke Musgraves, we got a lot of guys that we can go if we go the elite tight end route. Because we would be looking definitely at Goddard if we can. So something else to think about on our next set of picks. Drake London comes off the board. If Hopkins goes to the Patriots or Tennessee, I'm not super bullish on him. Me and Erwin actually just had a little short chat about it, and we'll be taking a whole lot of Treylon if he does end up in Tennessee. I really do think, because we kind of saw it with Julio in a sense, and I know Hopkins has produced a lot more frequently than what Julio was doing at the time, but it's kind of the same situation in my brain. But he was like, I'm all about taking Treylon in the hundreds. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of my favorite guy to take in that range. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and take the Hollywood Brown stack here. I was about to touch on the idea of going Madison potentially, but don't see any issue in that. Taking Hollywood and just rolling with that there. Two guys I like a lot. And we got game stack on game stack there. So that's a pretty start. I want to take a picture and send that one out to everyone. If we get Goddard on this next come around, 94 wouldn't be a drastic slide. 99, let's look at our receivers. Just come up with a light game plan here of who we would be wanting. James Conner is a guy. We'd be kind of at a weird range of taking him. Treylon we could. Jordan Addison's probably the route we should go there. And then we need to start looking a little more running back after that, I think. So our next picks would be about 116-ish or something, 118. Just coming up with a loose game plan. I'll leave the board pulled up. We can get a Charbonnet, Gibson. Gibson is one of the guys we've been smashing. A.J. Dillon would be awesome, actually, for our team. And P. Ryan, I think, is undervalued. So we're going to be looking a lot at that. And the running back in that department there. So I like the idea of where we're sitting. I feel pretty safe. Let's add Dubs to the list here, just so we know we can get him after that round of picks pretty comfortably. And then we got a decent wide receiver room to start, and we can start building on those running backs. Don't have to worry about tight end if we get Goddard. Hopefully he just slides just a little bit for us. That would be only issue. We're 11 picks away. I feel like it. Yeah, that I'll say, Dustin, I think this build off the bat can turn out really well with our running back twos. As long as we get safe here, we take a couple guys. I like Charbonnet so much. He's a guy that I've been taking so frequently that it's almost uncomfortable. Let me go ahead and look up my redraft. If I got my phone here, I'll pull up where I'm at on him. He's definitely a guy that I've been higher on as a whole. I don't know how much I've taken him in addition on the Superflex, but this is my exposure in the primary drafts. I know he's rising up on mine. So I got 13% on him. You know, that's a little heavy. There's a couple guys that I'm crazy heavy on. Gibson is one of the other ones. So Jaylen Warren, I got 26%. James Conner, I'm at 22. And Gibson, I'm at 20. Otherwise, it starts getting a little scattered after that. But Charbonnet, I'm at 13. I do like the idea of this team a lot, though. It's starting pretty comfortably. I just have felt so great with so many of these teams right off the bat, and then I feel like I look at the end and the wide receiver group or running back group is just a little lackluster. Yeah, Luke Musgrave at the end will be a pretty safe tight end pick, I think. as long as they don't have the same bye week, that's something I've been trying to correlate. Ooh, Goddard off the board early. That hurts a little bit, but that's okay. We have the option to go 3 tight end pretty safely. We can get Green Bay, Arizona tight ends of choice. Yeah, we're kind of past. Addison comes off just a tad early. All right, so we do have to come up with a new game plan. Just a little bit. Dotson is a guy I don't mind taking. It's a wide receiver 3. I do think we could consider going Dameon Pierce here even. I haven't taken much of him. We're not going to go Dotson. I want to get another wide receiver here before things get too crazy. If I would have known Ritter was going to slide potentially to me, I probably would have gone the other route, but that's okay. That is a-okay. We could have just got another wide receiver running back at that point. Ingram is kind of the tier break in tight ends for me. Pierce comes off the board. If I go Tyler Lockett here, I could get Freiermuth. Build that kind of soft game stack with those those 2 guys, especially since I'm planning on taking Charbonnet. I definitely think that's probably the idea and the route I want to go. 20% Warren, 20% Pickett. All right, I do like that. Pickett has got my quarterback diversity is literally probably almost as equal as anything can get. I have a couple guys I'm high on. Yeah, I'm definitely just going to go Tyler Lockett here. And then think about the excuse me, Freiermuth stack too. Get these guys up in here. They're probably the route we'll go ish. I'll take 2 running backs on the next spot. Depending where we want to go with this next pick. Man, it does hurt that Ritter fell there. I might just go James Conner and fill out. I like James Conner a lot. I've been drafting. I don't think I'm quite at 100 drafts yet. I'm thinking I'm sitting around like 70-ish. Let me go ahead and look that up. Yep, just a touch under 70. Well, that's not counting Superflex. So I'm a little bit above 70. So I'm about 74 drafts in this season. Been kind of light. Not terribly light, but light enough. I'm definitely going James Conner here just because we already got the Arizona-Philly game stack going, and I think he's going to be the bell cow. He doesn't have any competition behind him. I mean, he's got Keotani Ingram, but we didn't see him do much. He's a guy that I held on my Dynasty roster last year, throughout the year, solely for the fact that we know James Conner is a little bit of an injury-prone guy himself. Desmond Ritter off at 97. That hurts my pride. That does open up my options to go Freiermuth with this next pick. So I think, or with this next round of picks. So I'll probably plan on going that way. So let's take James Conner, get a running back 2 that I like. Tua's a guy. So I had a draft that I really liked yesterday where I think I was drafting out of the 10 or 11 spot. I can't remember. And I went Tyreek Tua, and I ended up liking the finish of it quite a bit. It's a fun one. Definitely a fun one. So my quarterback exposure, the highest I have is at 13. I have Geno, Jared Goff, and Russell Wilson. So a lot of those guys are kind of weird that I have all the same amount of. Otherwise, it's pretty much spread very evenly across the board. I got 1% Ryan Tannehill in real draft. But it's interesting to me that, because not until recently, I hadn't taken any Traylon, or even when I've drafted Chig, he's just been kind of a guy that I've expected to be kind of a safe floor tight end to get me 6 to 7 points and with an okay touchdown upside. Or Traylon, as he goes off the board right now, interestingly enough. I've just passed on, like, I haven't even thought about taking Tannehill. And 2 years ago, he really wasn't that bad. I don't remember exact numbers or where he finished overall. But I'll actually go ahead and pull those numbers up and see where we were at with that. It was very interesting to me because Tannehill was a guy that seemed like he could be pretty okay as a whole. Like just a safe quarterback too. Especially, like I said, we do a whole lot of our in our primary league. Ryan Tannehill. All right. So let's go back to 2021, I believe was the year. Yeah, so he finished as the QB 12 in 2021. So I thought that's why he was going to be safe. And then he was the 2020, he was the QB 7, which is shocking. I did not realize he was that good. So I know a lot of people are scared with Levis coming in and being like, he was even good in 2019 when he was playing. Like, very, very good. No, not that we need to talk about 2019 stats, but week 8 on QB 11, 5, 11, 2, 22, 6, 4, 6, and 10. That's legitimately shocking to me. 2018 he was irrelevant, but 2019 on until last year he was pretty awesome. Yeah, I think I definitely want to get Freiermuth here. I think I'd definitely take Freiermuth with my first pick here, and then I can either go AJ Dillon or Charbonnet. Either which way, I feel fine taking either of them. Because this is kind of that wide receiver area where it gets a little iffy after these 4 guys come off that are at the top here. I'm not super in love with any of them, and I really don't have any correlation with them right now currently. So I think my best route, knowing that I'm going to go Dobbs with my next pick at 142, as long as he's there, of course. Our running back room is a little weak-ish here. So I don't know if I want to go Charbonnet or AJ Dillon more. Probably AJ Dillon just to get a safe Green Bay stack in there, and then I don't have to worry about if Dobbs falls to us or not. Freiermuth is a guy that I like a lot as a safe pick. Normally when I take him, I try to take someone that's a little, like if I get a Taysom, I talk years on end about how much I like Taysom. I could go Evan Ingram here because it's a little bit past ADP. That's hard to pass on. I'm not going to lie. That is really hard to pass on. Gibson comes off the board, so we don't have to worry about him. We got 3 and 2 RB in between us. I do see the possibility of one going off. I don't think both the tight ends comes off in front of us, but I think I'm going to plan on taking Freiermuth with my next pick, just for the stack and hope for the best. So we're looking Charbonnet or AJ Dillon. I think I want to, let's just go AJ Dillon. I don't have a whole lot of AJ Dillon, but I like it as a whole. I could always push tight end a whole lot. Less interested in that. I had no interest in Byron Robinson. No, I didn't click on that. I did see that Underdog is releasing a new format. I hadn't seen the details of it, but me and Alex were talking about it a little bit earlier today. I do very much like the idea of weekly best ball tournaments, in a sense, is the way I kind of understood it. He told me about it. I didn't necessarily get to see a whole lot on it, but I do like that they're doing stuff like that a whole bunch. It should be fun. Should give us a reason to care during the year a little bit more. Otherwise, from typical DFS, which can be very fun and very not fun at the same time. I seem to struggle with so my first year of ever playing DFS, I had so much fun. It was literally I want to say it was the first week I've ever done it. I entered like 5 different styles of tournaments, and I did the one where it was like, oh, top whatever, end up placing, and it's like you put in $4 and you make like $400 or whatever it was, or something like that, $100 or something like that. It's like low risk. I want to say it was more. I don't know. I just remember. I want to say it was like a $5 entry and a $400 payout. So you had to be in the top like 5% or whatever. And it was the week where Mahomes, I stacked with Watkins, and Watkins had like a 40-point week or something like that. So I'm like upset. Like I could, if I would have entered that one in the Millie Maker at that point, I would have been. I don't. I mean, I don't even know how much money I would have made, but I wish I could go back and find the lineup or the time of all that. But that's when I was like super new and I didn't know what I was doing, and you get a little bit of beginner's luck to say the least. So let's go ahead and look at our ADP spots. 142, 147. People that we're looking at around that range here. Jalen Warren. That's a pretty good running back. Rondale Moore is another guy we could stack at that point too. Otherwise, I'm really not liking a whole lot that's sitting around there. Chig would be an option for me too, but I'm probably going to lay off that route. Otherwise, we're going to have somebody fall to us that we like quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Dustin, if you know some more of the details and can keep it brief, I don't want to make you type an essay about it, but I'd be definitely more than interested to kind of find out more of the details. I guess I could look it up here too. Let's see what we got. Newsfeed, right? That's where that would be. Nope, that's only about other things. I haven't taken to the Twitterverse. Let's see what we got. A lot of running backs coming off the board. I'm glad I went A.J. Dillon there. Very, very glad I went that route. All right, so let's see. Let's see. Can I get the underdog? Oh, I gotta listen to it. All right, here we go. 1 draft, 0 management, 0 playoffs, 17 chances to win. The draft experience is the same, but instead of a tournament-style setup, you've drafted a team competes in a new contest every week from week 1 to 17 with top prize each week taking home $20,000. Ooh, nice. Entry is only $15 and players can enter up to 150 times. Holy crap. That's insane. That's a lot of entries. More details to come soon. Which week will you end up top dog? That's crazy. $15, 150 times. That's a lot. With you being able to enter 150 times, that makes me think that the entry is going to be very, very high. Kind of something similar to like a typical Millie Maker entry, which I don't hate. I mean, those are $25 to get in on DraftKings. So if these are 15 and essentially it's the same kind of with a more spread out payout structure, I'm all for that. Definitely all for that. It'll be fun. Something different. Get a little more unique in drafts. Have to be weird sometimes. But it will be interesting seeing how players' ADP changes throughout the season just based on matchups alone. I don't know where they will be necessarily flipping. I'm wondering how the ADP shakeup will be. Yeah, exactly. I'll say it'll be, stacks are going to be massive. That's for sure. It's basically going to be what pays you out or not if you guess the right stack or not. Prime example of it last year was like week 17 in the playoffs of if we went Mike Evans and Tom Brady was the big winner for week 17, and I mean that's the route going here. All right, so Lazard is still on the board, OBJ is still on the board, Romeo Doubs is still on the board. I don't have any interest in these guys for this draft. I'd rather just get the stack. Khalil Herbert is definitely a guy that I like at running back. We don't have any week 13 bye. I might be able to push Romeo here and take Khalil Herbert as another high-end one. I don't like the idea, but I could get what is his name? Jalen Reed? I think Jalen Reed. A little bit later Jaden. Noted. Yeah, if Herbert falls to us here, I think the ADP value is fine, and we have a strong chance of Dobbs coming back around to us. But definitely the stacks are going to be super, super critical. Even if you get, like, another thing is if you get the tight end. Ooh, let's run with it. Only reason why I like Herbert is because he's more of a clear-cut one in my eyes than Warren, even though I think Warren's going to produce more throughout the year. It is very interesting to me how these stacks are going to play out. But like the TJ Hawkinson situation with Kirk Cousins in week 16 of last year, that would be massive, massive. We need to look Taysom with these picks. 166. We might get him. I would love to get Taysom on the next bit, but I'm not exactly praying on that. So yeah, our obvious pick here is either Romeo Dobbs or Rondale. Pretty safely can get both of those guys, I think, here. I don't think either of them come off the board. We're probably... Chig comes off. Not sure exactly how many... I need to start looking wide receiver a little bit more because we got 4 running backs I feel pretty safe in going forward, and our bye weeks are spread, which I very, very like. Very, very much like. I also think the structure may not matter as much in the weeks format. Just draft a lot of skinny stacks. Yeah, good point. I'm not sure how many rounds it would be. I feel like it would be shorter rounds potentially. Not positive on that, but it makes sense in my mind that you would be shorter on the rounds solely just for the fact of... Let's get Dobbs. Boom. I think it would be shorter rounds just because that makes you have to draft a little bit more risky. If it's 18 rounds, then I would be able to take somebody like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of any like late round 18 wide receivers that we can even think about. Like a Michael Wilson and the exact build I have going on would be a perfect example. He could be a guy. Or Greg Dortch. People like that are people that aren't going to go too highly. But we'd obviously see how that would come around when that time comes. I think that our best chance to kind of win big on something like that is at the very beginning, because the same best ball concepts do apply of, you probably want to get game stacks if possible. So like a Minnesota Houston game stack could be a very good one in my eyes. 2 pretty bad defense, 1 offense that's borderline elite, and then you got a building offense that who knows how CJ Stroud and all them are going. I think it could be very, very big going forward on their drafts. I do wonder if the routes are going to be short or not. Or how many rounds it's going to be. But it'll be interesting to come. Obviously, we have quite a bit of time before the season starts. Taysom off the board. Boo. All right. 12 picks away. Let's see. Otherwise, who are we looking at in this range? Kenneth Gainwell wouldn't be a bad running back to look at here. Probably just going to take whoever falls here. I don't hate Van Jefferson. I know I don't have any stat correlation there. But that's an okay one. I think we got everything pretty well covered. Minnesota, Green Bay, very much stacked up. Philly, Arizona, pretty well stacked up. Pitt and Seattle. We don't have anybody from Atlanta, so we could go Tyler Algier if he's hanging. Never mind, he just came off the board. Late round Mac Hollins is always an option, but I think I'd rather risk the otherwhere. We could take one of the Carolina receivers, Mingo or DJ Chark. KJ Osborne is a very good pick here, actually. That is who we should be looking at now that I'm realizing where I'm at. But otherwise, DJ Chark would be fine too. We should look at one of these 2 tight ends. Yeah, so I'm kind of just speaking where I'm thinking. If we're talking like a 14-round draft and we're looking at people like this late, I know it's a little different with all the quarterbacks coming off the board. But we'll be a little bit deeper than this, kind of like the week or round 16, 17. We're taking in this as the round 18 or in that. So, or excuse me, the round 5. Where we're at now is round 16, 17 later. Anyway, I just think if they shorten the rounds up, it's more, you have to draft more risky to potentially get those high end late upside bloomers. Irv Smith coming off the board. We got 0 tight end in front of us coming up with Jack of Spades, which makes me a little bit nervous on not getting Taysom. Taysom's pretty much my favorite. This is it. Taysom is pretty much my favorite pick. If I can get him here, I have a lot of Taysom. Taysom is my highest owned player, I think, at this point. Let's go ahead and take a gander at that, just out of curiosity. If he auto drafts, that would be okay too, just so we don't have to worry about him potentially taking that. Yeah, Taysom is my highest owned at 26%, along with Jalen Warren. Darnell Mooney, sweet. So I think there's a real chance. Who's this guy got? He's got Greg D. He very easily could go Taysom here. I don't think he has any correlation, but you don't need correlation for somebody like Taysom. This guy's got Kincaid and Higbee, so I could see him taking him too, but he needs to build his wide receiver room a little bit stronger. I'm more worried about the guy before us taking Taysom here. Marvin Mims comes off the board. Taysom comes off. We take KJ Osborne, and then I'm okay waiting and taking 2 tight ends to kind of follow up our team here. If that's the worst case scenario, we're doing A-okay. Nice. Very nice. Give me that boom boom right there. Now, please, if KJ Osborne falls to us, this team is looking real pretty. We need to hit wide receiver heavy these next couple rounds, though. So we'll be looking at 90, 95. We definitely can get a Giants receiver of sorts. Take our flyer on one of them. Devin Singletary comes off the board. Even Jaden Reed fell, I would be pretty okay with taking him. Our wide receivers, our first 5, if we get KJ Osborne, will be looking real good. No bye week coverage. Everybody's separate. I'm pretty safe with going 2 tight end here in my eyes. Fryermuth will be the stabilizer. Taysom will be the boom guy. We do also have the option to go Musgrave or Trey McBride later in the rounds. So that turned out pretty A-okay for us. 2 picks away. I'm not too worried about this guy going receiver, even though he did go receiver. This guy, I'm more worried about taking KJ in front of us. Juwan Johnson. KJ Osborne, welcome to the team, bud. DPJ is another guy I've taken quite a bit of. Not so sure. Hunter Renfrow is interesting to me this year too. I was really big on him at the front part of the year, and then Jacoby Myers kind of rose a little bit in my eyes, but I wasn't like all about him. I think it's kind of interesting though, being that he's such a good route runner. It just seems like with a quarterback like Jimmy G that he would be pretty adequate. Tim Patrick is another guy. People forget how big his contract was, and Izzy A is another running back that has been very pretty in my eyes. So definitely we'll wait around here, kind of see what we get on the come around, and build up the wide receiver room as much as we can. We currently have a 4-4-5-2 build. We'll probably stick pretty close to that. Pretty good projected points, if I do say so myself. I love this team. We got the Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown stack, correlated with the Kyler Murray, Marquise Brown stack. Oh, and James Conner. Can't forget James Conner. Jordan Love, A.J. Dillon, Romeo Dobbs, stacked with Kirk Cousins, and KJ Osborne. So pretty decent overall. I mean, we got all of our quarterbacks game stacked. with receivers, with running backs. I mean, I'm not saying this is one that could win it all, but if these hit right, this is a pretty good team. This is definitely my favorite team I've drafted so far. It feels good to get a team like this after having like a kind of a rough day at work. Um, Not that anything's bad, because we got a lot of good things. 17% Renfro, so you're on board with me. I mean, he could very easily be the 2 on the team. I mean, there's no reason not to. And we know Jimmy G can support wide receivers, especially people that run short routes. And Devontae Adams is, in my opinion, the best route runner in the game. But running alongside Hunter Renfro, I mean, there's just no reason why Hunter Renfro still can't be the guy. I do know Jacoby Myers has a New England connection there, so that kind of throws a wrench in things. But Kate Otten in the 15th, it's definitely a different one for me. Let's look at this guy's team. Mitch my pockets. Not the strongest quarterback room for Superflex, but interesting. Very strong tight end room as a whole. Pretty good running back room, but the wide receiver room's a little weak for the the tight end stacks there. Sorry about the coughing. Like I said, I wish I could help it, but I'm forever sick apparently. But I have been sounding better. I've been clearer. I feel so much better, and it seems like it's only late in the day when that's coming around. So I think we're going to pick 2 wide receivers here. If it works out really well, then we'll take 2 running backs in the 214, 219 range, and then just take a fly, whatever last round flyer. People are talking about Hunter getting traded too. Interesting. I had not heard those rumors yet. I haven't looked too much into it. If I'm being honest, Chark comes off the board. It's a little unfortunate. He's a guy that I've been drafting a lot of. There's a lot of potential ones in Carolina. So I don't think washed up Adam Thielen is going to be the true one there. Any idea where his trade talks have been to? I'm trying to think of different areas that make sense for him to actually land. Chicago would be an okay one. I know they got Claypool as like kind of Mooney, but I've heard rumors that Claypool might get cut, and that kind of hurt how much Claypool I have. I like the big play potential with Claypool still, but not sure about that. Trying to think where else I would like him. Tennessee would be an okay spot. Jaden Reed comes off the board. We do need to assess where we're at. DPJ is another guy that is A-okay in my eyes. Campbell has been talked up quite a bit. Apparently he's been getting snaps out of the backfield. I don't know if I believe that. But DPJ is another guy, big play guy, that I've been okay. Miami is interesting. Bills would be good, yeah. I agree with that. Getting a safer 2 possession, taking that Cole Beasley role, in a sense. I think I kind of want to go Mechie here as my second guy. I could go I could get Tajay and push because they play Houston. Let's go Tajay. I like Tajay Spears. I missed my pick. Oh, I got worried there. That was a last second pivot here. Mechie's a guy that could be super big play. And especially if CJ Stroud likes him. Miami would be good for him, I think. Miami's tougher. The Bills make some more sense to me in my eyes, just to get a safer possession too, like I said, because Cole Beasley lit up the world when he was there. He was kind of like one of those weird guys that you didn't expect to do as good as he did, and he turned out to be a pretty good pick in my eyes, or a pretty good player in like picking drafts. Scored a lot of points while he was there. Not the second time around, but the first time around, of course. Getting this Tajay late round stack. Simple with me if I get Mechie. Just kind of a soft one, but decent one. And also we don't have any bye week correlation. I'm not like a super stressor on bye week correlation by any means, but especially in these later rounds, if especially in this in particular, it seems like with the Superflex, since I'm focused on taking less flyers on people and stuff, I want my bye weeks to not line up as much as they can. Sorry if you had CJ Stroud. I want to see if any of these guys coming up had CJ. Nah, nothing. Ooh, 2 quarterback. That's late 2 quarterback. Pushes us above the 3,000 projected mark. That's where I'd love to be. Cordero is a guy I like, and I do have Chicago built in here already. So if Cordero comes around, and then Izzy A is the other running back I would want to take here. Because we're kind of taking flyers on any of the wide receivers at this point. I mean, if DPJ's there or Wandale on my next time around, those are obvious picks for me. Otherwise, Darius Slayton, Tim Patrick, those are guys I like a lot too. Big play guys. And like I said, a lot of people don't remember that Tim Patrick has like a 3-year contract that's, I want to say, $36 million a year. Sorry about that. Let's find that. Tim Patrick contract. 3-year, $34 million. Pretty close. $18.5 million guaranteed. So, yeah, I could definitely see him getting the ball. That's why with Mims flying off the board as early, it's kind of weird to me that Tim Patrick isn't taking as much as we would think. So, I like it. I like it a lot. Ooh, Musgrave came off the board way early. That's okay with me. Like I said, I'm probably rolling 2 tight end here. Probably going to take 3 more. Probably take 1 more running back, 2 more wide receiver. That seems pretty safe in my eyes. Cordero or Izzy A with the next. Or I'll probably take one of these wide receivers. I think it's safer to get that route. Do you see a path for people fading quarterback to win this? I'm not going to say no to that by any means, because you could very, very much be heavy loaded at wide receiver and running back at the front of drafts. However, I think the best route is to avoid that. I do think you need at least one pretty solid quarterback to get this, and then at least what I call a stabilizing piece. I'm trying to think of people that are on the borderline of what I would call stabilizing. Grab Noah Fant. I could do that. That is an option. I do have a lot of Noah Fant. I think he's my 3rd most drafted tight end. Tied for 3rd. I have him at 13%. Noah Fant. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Excuse me. Yeah, I like my tight end room right now. Maybe if he slips a little bit, I'll take him with my last pick. I don't know. See, it's like a weird spot for me. I'll add him to the queue as somebody to think about. I just don't know where I'm at in the tight end field as a whole. I've always kind of, if I get an okay tight end and take Taysom, I've pretty much run 2 tight end in most of my drafts, and that's just a me preference more than anything else. Izzy A comes off the board. That is unfortunate for us. Tim Patrick or Darius Slayton. Trying to think if we got any real big correlation there in the wide receiver room. This guy's got 10 wide receivers on his team. He's got a pretty strong wide receiver core up front, so that's kind of interesting. First best ball season. Oh no, I'll say best ball is a whole bunch of fun. This is my second real season, as I say. At the front part of the draft season last year, I really had no idea what I was doing, and then I started researching, learning, growing, and all that kind of stuff. And working with Alex as a whole, who's done it for a couple of years now, I'm not sure how many in total. I've definitely learned a lot from him. Obviously, he's had a lot of real big success. I mean, barring that game doesn't get canceled last year, the Buffalo-Cincinnati game, Alex had a real shot at winning the one puppy that he got second in, because he had T. Higgins, and I want to say his bottom line receiver was sitting somewhere around 12 points. I can't remember exactly. So I really like Izzy A as my next running back over Ty Chandler, because I know, what is the other guy's name? I know I'm going to butcher it. Where is he at on here? This guy, Kene Nwangawu, I believe that's how it's pronounced, has been pretty big. I think I'm just gonna go receiver. I'm gonna hold off on tight end, I think, here, just because I'm really strong in my running back room. I really like the group that we have here. This big four. I don't want to say big four, but I feel like a very stable group here in the big four, and then two guys with a lot of high-end upside. And now I'm probably going to go Tim Patrick over Darius Slayton, just because the possibility. Oh, I'm definitely going to go Tim Patrick over Darius Slayton here. I like, excuse me, I like Tim Patrick. Contract is big. Courtland Sutton is the possible trade candidate, as he has been talked about for a long time here. So overall, as a 2-6-7 build, or 4-6-7-2 build right now, we're looking really good. If Fant is there, I definitely like the idea of going that, just to give a little bit more of a stabilizing player. Jake Ferguson is another guy that I like as a stabilizing player if I want to go that route. I don't stand too strongly on any of the wide receivers at this point. Like I said, Matt Collins is a fine late round pick as a flyer. I could take Greg Dortch here, just to get another little stack in the middle of it. Somebody to go with. I do have the Seattle game stack, right? I got Tyler Lockett, that's right. I'll say Seattle Pitt. I got that soft stack. We got the Houston soft stack. So I could look someone from Cleveland, but I think anybody Cleveland relevant is off the board. I don't know how to spell Cleveland, apparently. Yeah, Cedric Tillman I'm not too interested in. So I'm probably going to pass on anybody there. In regards to these game stacks, we got all of our quarterbacks and wide receivers like super well game stacked. I'm pretty obsessed with this team, if I'm being honest. We could look at a Chargers player, but nothing too crazy. Pitt, New Orleans. We could take a late round Russell Gage. He's another guy that's on a big quarterback. Trey McBride is another guy I do like a lot. I think he already came off the board here. Sorry, I'm not showing the board. I'm really bad about that. Where did he come off? Trey McBride came off right there. Trey McBride is a guy that's interesting, but I don't know how it's going to be with Zach Ertz if he's back and healthy. Being an Eagles fan, and let me just get this bad boy out. Here, we'll get all of them out that have the number 6 on them. Got Mailata, Devontae, and good old Zach Ertz. So, I do like Zach Ertz. He's literally probably one of like the best people in the world. Just seems like he's a very wholehearted person. Very wholehearted. It probably is the smart thing to grab another tight end here, especially if Noah Fant is still on the board. If Fant's on the board, I'm gonna take him. If not, I'm okay. Well, we pushed that and lost on that bet. Heineke. So Heineke is another guy that if you have him here late in these Superflex drafts, I think is a very good pick. Just solely because we know he can produce at an NFL level and be pretty okay. I hate him He's one of the guys I don't like, just because that was one of the Eagles' loss last year. So I can't be like, it's just more or less me being upset about that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to roll the 2 tight end. I think my wide receiver room is a little bit weaker here, so I think it's the best idea to take one of these guys. I could go another Michael Wilson stack. Dortch came off the board? Did that actually happen? Oh, he's still there. I mean, he was okay last year. Puka is a guy that I thought quite a bit about, too, being okay. What's the one guy from Pitt that they're playing in Pittsburgh that's becoming relevant that's not Allen Robinson? Calvin Austin. I think he's who I want to go here. This is me betting on Kenny Pickett taking a step forward and kind of fits in with our build here, and it gives us a little bit more of a unique style. Nobody else from Minnesota. Nobody from... I could go Quez Watkins here if I wanted to get a receiver. I think really Quez did a whole lot last year when it comes to points. 68 total. Yeah, no, I'd rather take a risk on a unique rookie and hope for the best. I don't really have anybody else tight end wise that... I mean, Darnell Washington would be an interesting one, but I don't want to take a second tight end on the same team. Yeah, so we're just going to roll with our 2 tight end build, and if that's what loses us this tournament, that's on me. So, just taking one last look over the top people here, making sure. Oh, we did say the Russell Gage. Russell Gage, big play. He should be the wide receiver 3. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. He got a big contract. Take the risk on the rookie or a washed veteran. It gives us a little bit of the New Orleans game stack. Let's just go that route. So, pretty okay team here. Finished almost at 3,300 projected, which is a friendly number there that we like. But overall, pretty fun team. Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, Jordan Love, Kyler Murray got all their wide receivers stacked. Let's jump into wide receivers. A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown, Tyler Lockett, Romeo Doubs, KJ Osborne, John Mechie, Tim Patrick, and Russell Gage. Russell Gage, just a late round flyer, hoping for the best. Running backs, EDN, James Conner, AJ Dillon, Khalil Herbert, Tajay Spears, and Izzy Abanikanda. And at tight end, we got Pat Fryermuth, and Taysom Hill. All right, let's do another one. If you want to jump in one with me, that's up to you. I'm going to wait about 10 seconds to let this kind of transpose over. Let the information get to you. Dustin, if you want to jump in, feel free. If not, hopefully we can link up here. All right. That was a good draft. I like that one a lot. That one was fun. Very, very fun. Got a good team. That is one I feel pretty good that could potentially take on the world. Love it when things go our way for a change. Seems like it's not as frequent as we would like sometimes. Not as frequent as we would like. Drafting from the 6th spot. Give me all these 2 guys. I'm fine with either. And just make sure, see if there's anybody I recognize. Pay attention to their draft style. Probably just going to do this draft and then dip out after this one. Starting to get tired. My body's starting to tell me otherwise. Tell me I need to go to sleep. Joe Burrow. If we can get a T. Higgins stack with Joe Burrow in the third. Where's T. Higgins going in this? 41. Whew. That would be a fun one to push to 43. Not too bad. Not too far of a push. But a hopeful one. Not an impossible one by any means. But a hopeful one in my eyes. All right. Got a lot of exciting things going in our life. Obviously we had the kiddo. We're looking at new houses and stuff right now. Well, actually, we're looking at lots. We plan on building a house here soon. So that's the plan. Oh, hold on. Listen to this. Literally not the hottest of takes, not the coldest of takes by any means either. Multiple people in Denver Broncos building believe Tim Patrick is the best football player in the wide receiver room. Hey, you're talking at the right time. That we're all about that. Give me Justin Fields. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. In the one paid dynasty league I'm in, excuse me, I got a whole bunch. I got Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields. I actually traded my first round pick before Justin Fields was good to trade up to take him. I think I traded back 4 rounds in my first round pick to get Justin Fields, and it was awesome. One of my buddies draft later tonight. I'll jump in one for sure sometime. Yeah, definitely. I think we do want to start getting in these live streams a little bit more frequently. Even if it just becomes a Wednesday thing. It's kind of hard for us. We don't like doing a bunch of these live streams drafts when there's not the cheap drafts. We like the idea of Best Ball Mania, but we don't want to be forking up $50 every Wednesday or something like that just to go that route. But, just something we can do that's fun here and there. Jump in with anybody that is wanting to hang out. It is fun. I feel like my advance rate will be higher in those drafts. I definitely think that my advance rate is going to be super high in these, if I'm being honest. The Chihuahua draft structure is amazing. It legitimately is my favorite style of draft we've done, period. It's different, it's fun, it's exciting. I don't know. I just love it. The more of these that come out, the more I'll do. Another problem with this is I've done so many drafts that have been exciting, I guess. Maybe not exciting is the word, but just have gone so well for me. It's hard for me not to jump in and just want to take more and more and more and more. Let's see. As far as our team goes here. Took Justin Fields, so obviously we don't have to think wide receiver correlation with him very much. Bijan would be fun. Bijan would be fun here. It's hard for me to take Bijan over Eckler if this is the case. I could go a Russ Judy stack potentially later, because we'd be looking at Russ or T. Higgins potentially. Dustin, I will say one thing you're doing better than I did is it seems like, we're very early into the best ball season at this point still, and you're taking a step forward and trying to learn, do the right things on your drafts. Figure out what you're doing, have a little bit of an idea. We get the instant game stack, or do we take Kelsey at value? This one's for Alex. Let's take Bijan. Got the instant game stack. We don't have to worry about Atlanta going forward. Drake London, actually, we could try to go Drake London, and I'm just trying to think of backup plans for our spots. Kelsey has fallen way too far. I do not like how late Kelsey has fallen. And if Kelsey's there on my next pick, I'm taking him. But I mean, Kelsey at 30 seems like a pretty crazy steal. I would like any of these guys to fall to me for a change. Geno is a quarterback that I do have a lot of already currently. We might kind of lay off quarterback this time around, I'm thinking. If we don't get one of these three quarterbacks, we're probably going to lay off. I don't like Aaron Rodgers, and I don't want to reach on Goff a whole bunch. I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing ever. One of these guys got... I mean, if I get Kirk again here, I'm fine with that. Kirk will be a very good stabilizing piece as a super flex. I mean, that man is one of the most solid quarterbacks in the league. We got all the guys with elite people here, so they might be comfortable passing on. I could see this guy going Kirk solely for the fact of A-Rich probably ain't starting the year. Super hot, but it's possible. We're guaranteed one of our two guys here, please. Oh, that's all right. That is okay with me. Geno is a good, solid stabilizing piece in my eyes too. Not as good as Kirk, but we like his wide receiver group. We like the running backs he can dump it off to. And got him a little bit at value. So obviously T. Higgins is our pick here. This next time around, our running back room is going to look a little bit scary. 54. We're going to have to hope that somebody slips a little bit. Or we go ETN again. Totally fine taking a lot of ETN. Haven't taken a whole lot of Aaron Jones, so I'm thinking that might be an option for me too. Things to consider, things to think about. Yeah, if T. Higgins slips to us... Oh, we don't have Burrow. My brain was still in the mindset that we had Burrow. Well, that opens a lot of things up for us if we want to go and start thinking differently. That's okay. DJ Moore is definitely somebody we could get later. I would love to get Russ here at value. Or even DK. DK's a pretty okay. At 43, DK would be a good stack. I like in Lockett later. I take a lot of Tyler Lockett. We could go Lockett or JSN. Sitting around 90. I feel like we should be able to get one of them at 91. We could really a strong Seattle game stack here. We could potentially go Kenny Pickett to 58. Take him at 54. So I think that'll be the game plan. Take a position player now. If any of these three wide receivers are here, they're a step above DK. Oh, we got the stack, though. Man, this is a tough one. I don't like drafting in the middle like this as much. Derek Carr comes off the board, so that makes it a little bit less appealing to take Olave for me. We know DK's kind of tried and proved 162. I'm just looking at their last year's stats. Devontae Smith was a monster last year. He was the whole reason I have that Devontae Smith jersey in there is because of how well he performed at the end of the year during playoffs for me. I had him in my I was playing in my primary league. I ended up winning our primary league, and I cannot freaking wait for us to get to our draft so I can get the trophy, because you'll be seeing it right over there where that Brandon Graham sack is on Tom Brady for us to win the Super Bowl way back when in the good old year of 2017. But that is one of the coolest pictures I got. Got T.O. down there, and then I went to Bills Pats in New England. Oh, sorry, I'm here. Devontae Smith at 40, or do I reach for Kenny Pickett? Or excuse me, DK. I can get Lockett or JSN a lot later. You know, we got full Philly gear on. We took him. I'm not sure I've worn this yet, so let's slide this bad boy on. Feel nice and comfy in it. And let's just hope good old Kenny Pickett comes back around to us. We got one guy, at least with one quarterback in front of us. That's kind of a scary little bit there. We have our big old 6 here for good luck. Yeah, that's a hard pass. I wonder how many, what the point difference between them last year was. 255, and I think it was 207 with Devontae Smith. 207, yeah. So that's 2 big games of difference there. But his points towards the end of Devontae Smith's points at the end of the year were, as stable as it gets. All right, please, Kenny Pickett, stay on the board. Kenny Pickett doesn't stay on the board. We're looking a little scary. Bryce Young, thank you for going off instead. ETN, that's fine. Najee. Yeah, Pickett's our pick here. Cool. So we got that game stack, and we could go Ritter and get another double game stack. So Devontae Smith, from week 13 on in particular, he was wide receiver 10, 17, 15, 2, 10, and 29 in week 18, which game pretty much didn't matter. But yeah, the playoff run right there, 15, 27, 16. Give me all that if that can repeat. This team is very, very good. I do think I want to look Drake London here. Where is Ritter's ADP? 88. So what's a safe reach on him? We would have to take him here at 78 if we wanted him. So I don't hate the idea of that, especially because we're building this Chicago. We already got Bijan. Especially if Drake London would manage to come back around here. Definitely not impossible at this rate, especially if people go quarterback. If we can get Drake London, I do expect a world where Kyle Pitts slips way late to us, and we can go that route. Maybe on the next time, we'd be kind of pushing it with Tyler Lockett or JSN. We'd be pushing it. 91. It looks like it's pretty close. Looks like it's in the right spot if it's going to ever happen. Yeah, let's plan on this and build around it like that. There's no way this is going to actually fall into our hands like this, right? And we can take James Conner potentially again and as our RB2. A lovely, lovely RB2 there. This guy's got 4 wide receivers. He needs to either build quarterback or running back. Here, if he misses out on running back, he's going to start getting thin. Man, if I can get Drake London here, that's going to... Sam Howell comes off the board. That's a little scary. Amari Cooper. Please let Drake London fall to me. Dustin, what do you think about that? Drake London, Desmond Ridder here. I think that's an okay. It's 10 spot reach here potentially. Not exactly thrilled with the idea of it. DJ Moore comes off. That was a little bit of reach, right? Not too bad. I have Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a guy that I'm not terribly worried about building wide receiver around. we saw plenty of weeks where he did everything on his own, and we weren't super thrilled. Let's go. All right, I like that. We saw plenty of weeks though, like I said, where like there wasn't anything crazy that happened. Man, we're really banking on Bijan here. If we can get Ritter here with this stack, I don't have to worry. If I could really go Kyle Pitts, and the team would look beautiful. I mean, that if Pitts would fall to us, I mean, the team would be looking pretty. Sucks passing on like a Purdy potentially and a Kyler Murray here. All these guys between us, I believe, have 2 quarterbacks. Some of them have 3 even. So I think they're a little bit more likely to push to get the positional players. It's just hard for me to like pass in Superflex, just realizing that in these drafts, it's like these positions are so massive. Yeah, just it's tough for me mentally. Mac Jones comes off the board. I think it's only Kyler and Ritter now, right? Quarterback-wise. All right, we need a little bit of a slide here. I know that it doesn't look ADP-wise as a slide, but it's starting to get me worried. Oh, no. Oh, no. Please, go Jimmy G. Jimmy G looks so much more appealing. This one would hurt a little bit because we've built so well around it. One away. Don't be too brave. Worst case, we do go Taylor Heineke late instead. Thank you. A little bit of a reach. Totally okay with it. Totally okay with it. All right. So if Ken Walker's still on the board when we get, never mind. All right. So we got our quarterbacks double stacked here again, which is excellent. I don't mind a super crazy reach on that because, like I said, we're still going to be able to get players at value here. We can go Charbonnet later. I would like to get JSN or Tyler Lockett with this next pick. It's weird trying to pick between these two guys in particular. I like Tyler Lockett more because he's never not been a wide receiver too. And I think in this spot, that's just a very good thing for us. The only reason why I'm not going Deontay here is because I think it's more likely that we're able to get whether we want to go Pat Freiermuth, or we can come back around and get a George Pickens on the next spot. We might be going JSN here as a wide receiver 3. That sucks that Lockett came off the board. Oh, well, dang. Gino's not going to have the best stacks for us. We pushed that a little further than desired. When's our next pick here? 102. I don't want our running back room to get super thin. Charbonnet is 119. Should be able to get good running back value on the next pick. So let's go ahead. Let's queue up the guys we like. We know we like James Conner. I don't think we get James Conner on the comeback here at 102, but he would be the guy that I ideally would want. Deontay Johnson came off the board too. Wow. A lot did not go right there. Very much a reach. This is gonna not be a pick we like. I think we don't push George Pickens here. It sucks because there's a lot of guys elsewhere on the board I like. That one hurts me a little bit. missed out on a lot of guys that we wanted right there. They all came up back to back. Lockett, JSN, Deontay, all in order almost. Ken Walker even, with him sliding. Not in love. Not in love by any means. That's alright though. We live and we learn. Not every draft is going to go perfect. This will be a very good draft to get Noah Fant late. Dang, that one sucks, but that's alright. We're going to have a very similar running back room, I see. Mooney is another guy around these parts we can draft. Just queuing up some guys we like. Michael Pittman has been sliding. I do not like Michael Pittman a whole lot. I could have gone Goddard on that last pick instead of reaching for Pickens, but then we wouldn't have gone Connor. David Montgomery is interesting enough. A guy I haven't taken a whole... Ooh, boy. Maybe we go Monty then. I don't want to get too far out on the running back room, and if he's a guy that can score a bunch of points for us, potentially, I don't know. We can go Ferguson late to get a weird game stack with that. Man, that's been rough. I do think that Montgomery is primarily going to be the starting running back. I guess we'll see. Gibbs will probably work a little bit more out of slot, third down. I really do think Monty's kind of going to take the Jamal Williams role and score a lot of touchdowns and a pretty good offense. So let's do it. We haven't done it yet. I haven't done a whole lot of it, just to change things up a little bit in my eyes. A little bit painful. Not the best situation. Especially when it comes to running backs here. But we should be able to get Charbonnet or Khalil Herbert. I don't want to reach too much. Ideally, we get Charbonnet here. I guess Pirine would be the other guy that I would want to go in this situation. Then get Herbert on the bring back at 126 maybe. It's a little bit of a reach. Probably could try to push that to 139. We do need to focus wide receiver here too. We could build with the Brandon Cooks wide receiver stack to go with David Montgomery. Our wide receiver room in this one isn't going to look as pretty as the last one for sure. Because we're going to go late round Mac Hollins. Probably Fant will be the only stack that we could get with Geno. Maybe Freiermuth again. It's another option. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at here. Did Mooney come off? No, Mooney's still on the board. Yeah, let's just leave it. No, so much for Cooks there. Gallup is another later round option that should have a couple weeks that are okay. Not that we're in love with the idea of that by any means, but let's just throw him on the board. Kind of get where our brain's going. Feeling okay. Yeah, Charbonnet is definitely the pick here in my eyes. Pirine has not come off the board yet. Pirine would probably be my ideal pick on the next time around. Pirine's efficiency numbers are legitimately insane. Like, he has been so much better than, like, what most realize, I think. He's, like, averaging 6 yards a carry or something like that. Pretty crazy. Trey Lance comes off the board. We already got our 4 quarterbacks, so as many people as want can take that. Yeah, Charbonnet is our guy here. Mainly because I want to go Pirine with the next pick instead of Javonte. I do see Javonte having a world where he's really good. It's just a little bit riskier in my eyes, plain and simple. we don't know if he's going to start the year. And if he doesn't start the year, or especially if he starts the year on the pup, Pirine could be a godsend for us. We'll be kind of looking at going, I think, Taysom with 2 other tight ends late. It should be relatively easy to go Noah Fant, potentially take Cole Kmet here. I don't know if I've drafted Cole Kmet yet, so he'd be a fun guy to take for us. Something a little bit different. I've had a lot of fun in this stream, not gonna lie. The teams have turned out pretty well. Running back room in this one is a little bit scarier than the last one as a whole. Wide receiver room is also a little bit scarier as a whole. So I think that's where our issues went in this, but nothing crazy, nothing sickening by any means. Let me see here. I just want to look at that last team that we took. Javonte came off the board. That's fine by me. I'll start showing the board more. I'm sorry. I know I'm really bad about that. If Freiermuth does come back around, I think I need to build a running back here more than tight end. Just knowing that if I go the Taysom route, I should be okay. I can go Ferguson if I want to build like a random late game stack. There's a lot of tight ends I can take late that are okay. Fant, Taysom, even Cole Kmet, like I said. Who died? Pirine off the board right before us. Oh, okay. Damian Harris or A.J. Dillon is kind of the spot. I could go Khalil Herbert. I was hoping he'd kind of come back to us at 139. Sutton I don't really want to take. Tyler Boyd would be okay. Yeah, we got to decide something quick. Freiermuth seems like kind of the default answer even. But I want to build running back. Let's just go A.J. Dillon. I know we took him, in the last draft. It was kind of disappointing last year. I think Freiermuth was the right pick there. Yeah, Freiermuth probably was the right pick there. Khalil Herbert has more of a path to the 1, but we know Green Bay is going to be working in 2-down sets. That was kind of a ADP, quote-unquote, value pick, and my brain just said, go that route. Yeah, Freiermuth was the right pick there. Dang it. But on the bright side, if we do go Khalil Herbert here, I feel like we can sit on running back and not have to think about it and really build around the wide receiver room for a while. Even go Cole Kmet. He should be a guy that kind of slides. I think we'll be able. So we'll definitely be looking wide receiver in this next round. Mooney, if we stack Mooney, I feel better about missing out a little bit on Freiermuth there. Oh, shoot. It is frustrating making poor picks. Tyler Boyd is still there. No, he's not. This is going to be a heavy wide receiver team. I can tell you that right now. We're going to be taking a lot of wide receivers. After that, I think I do want to kind of, if I get Mooney at 150, I think I'm going to push tight end and hope for the best to go Taysom at 163, and then we can fill in Fant and whatever tight ends at the end here. Not the best draft in my profession of this, but it's been okay. Definitely I'm done worse. Definitely I'm done better. I hope I'm not living in a world where A.J. Dillon is still somebody that isn't as good as we expect. Because it's just so funny. Let's look up his numbers. The difference. Even just in the 2 years. Yeah, so he even had a really good playoff run last year, like a decent playoff run. He had 20, 11, and 10. I mean, that's a pretty solid numbers, but from the front part of the year, from week 12 on, he was pretty fine, but before that, he was not very good. 2021, he was very middle of the road for pretty much everybody. I mean, did fine for us. Oh, we're back on the clock. Look at that. Ooh. Yeah, that's put us in a weird situation here where we're kind of reaching on Jalen Warren. Reach for your guys you like, right? That's all we've always talked about. None of these guys super interest me and don't really build around it. So I'm pretty comfortable with that running back room. I'll probably take a late running back just because we have a little bit of bye week correlation in 6. We got our primary guys, though, that I'm not terribly worried about. Hopefully Mooney stays on the board so we can stack it there. And then I feel comfortable in skipping on Komet in that draft. Whoops, Superflex. I actually don't know what the passing touchdown is for. That is probably something I should have looked into about 10 or 12 drafts ago. Interesting enough. Very much interesting enough. Think Bigsby off the board. Thank you again for everybody that's tuned in or maybe has hung out or watching the stream after. We've been doing Chihuahua Superflex drafts, and it's been a lot of fun. This has been my favorite tournament to draft in so far. I just realized we went 4 running backs in a row. The wide receiver room on this one, a little bit light to say the least. But we do have some game stacks. I will look Arizona later to get a potential Devontae Smith one. Only regret is I probably should have gone DK there. Looking back at it now, I think it became a fandom thing and the combination of the slight slide and ADP. Wonder who had more points last year. DK had only 181, so I mean, in theory, Devontae Smith is the better pick. Yeah, we'll have to work around that in our own eyes or not. Ideally, our best case scenario is we go Mooney here and then get Gallup to slide around. We could go Rondale. I know we did that in the last draft, but if we get Mooney, then we don't have to think about going Komet, and we're going to run the running back room, run the tight end room pretty far deep. Not think too in depth about it. Mooney, show me the Mooney, baby. All right, cool. So we got a good pick there. The 13th round. Yeah, so ideally, one of these two guys falls to us. If not, I think it would be a good time to reach on Taysom and then push everything back. Yeah, none of the wide receiver. Van Jefferson I like a lot, but none of the other guys excite me super much. They're pretty okay, but this wide receiver room is going to be thin, to say the least. I think we're going to be doing 5-9-3, maybe? Yeah, 5-9-3 is probably going to be the route we go here. Let's just go ahead and highlight all the tight ends that we like here. Noah Fant for sure. Cole Kmet would have to fall for us to go that route. We're not getting Kyle Pitts. We already missed on Freiermuth. Trey McBride would be an okay random late round stack. Where's Ferguson? Ferguson's another guy that's been okay. Just for me to get some thoughts. Hopefully I don't miss. I'm not paying attention when my pick comes around and I auto draft somebody we don't like. I'd probably pass on Ferguson if we... Well, maybe not. I won't say. Gallup is a guy that I'm like, on. I'm very much in the middle of on whether I want to take him or not. But we'll see. We will see indeed. Komet came off the board there, unfortunately for us, so we even get that potential slide. I think Taysom is very much our next pick. It's going to end up being our next pick. I don't see Gallup falling to us. Probably one of these guys is going to auto draft at some point. Van Jefferson is another guy that is just a wide receiver I'd be okay with taking competitively, of course. Levis comes off the board. Excuse me. As you can see, I'm not coughing. I'm not having to hit my mute button to control my coughs every 5 minutes. So you probably can tell my voice is getting a little hoarse from the dryness and the soreness. And probably I'm going to go lay down and regret doing this as long as I did. But that's okay with me. I definitely was going to be doing these drafts in bed today. Like I said, just with work being one quarterback. One quarterback in the 14th and 8 wide receivers. I bet his wide receiver core looks... That's pretty good. Yeah, anytime you can get Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, your wide receiver core is... Bruh. All right. Yeah, his wide receivers are gonna be better than mine. However, my quarterback room is quite strong compared to his. I do like this that we got, an elite upside quarterback with 2 very good stabilizing quarterbacks, and Desmond Ridder does have some upside this year on the count that they're going to throw the ball a little bit more. No brainer. Give me him. Give me all the Taysom. Yeah, probably at this next point, if Van Jefferson's still around, I'll take him. Let's look at our random game stacks that we got going on here. Minnesota, so KJ Osborne would be another one to go with Green Bay. We got Pitt, Seattle, pretty strong. I'll have to look at some Seattle late receivers that would correlate potentially. I really don't know who the 4th wide receiver even is. Late round, Matt Collins would be fine. Yeah, I think that's what we're rolling. I think I'm just going to roll 5 RB. I think that's best for our team. Please, I would love for KJ Osborne to slip again. I know we drafted relatively similar teams, it seems like. A little bit of overlap in our team, but overall, we were able to stack our quarterbacks super, super impressively, I feel like. We got the 1 in Atlanta this time around, and definitely like strung in 2s. Big play 2s, I'll say, is probably the better way to phrase that. When they do score, they score a lot of points, kind of thing. So I like it. I like the look of it. Laporta wouldn't be a bad pick here, but I think we're just gonna go Fant. Fant's more better in my eyes for the draft value thing. Van Jefferson comes off the board here. Maybe we go Jaden Reed just to build Green Bay a little bit more if KJ Osborne does come off. Thank God he doesn't. I do think, at least in the front part of the year, while Addison is growing in the offense, that KJ Osborne is going to be okay. Raheed Shaheed would be another guy that would be good to build around if he slipped to us. DPJ, I'm fine with going if I want to take Izzy A as a flyer running back. And then Renfro is another okay option. All right, let's see where this guy goes. Does he take a quarterback finally? Does he have anybody that... He doesn't even have any stacks with Aaron Rodgers. So he's looking like McCole Hardman or Tyler Conklin if he wants to go that route. Don't know if that's how I feel. But pretty comfortable with my team, actually. I like my first team more. This one doesn't look bad. Let's just look at our projection technically right now. So we'll probably elapse that 3,000 mark again. Not that projections in this matter a whole lot, but it does make me feel better seeing my team elapse 3,000. Closer to 3,100 if I'm being honest, but I don't know. It's one of those things where you just look at it and makes you feel more comfortable with the picks that you have made. Let me rearrange our queue here a little bit. Let's see if our So week 11 bye would be a little overlap with Drake London. It doesn't matter. We're not going to get him. Yeah, DPJ would definitely be my current favorite pick here. It will give us a little bit of, oh, so much for that. I guess we do need to plan otherwise. Curtis Samuel's an okay one here. It's a little bit different. Nobody from San Francisco at this point we would really want to build around. We could go Alec Pierce, Hunter Renfrow. Big play and could be a safe later round pick. Did Renfrow come off? I didn't say I didn't think so. I'd be okay stacking these two guys. And so much for that. I don't think there's anybody else from Indy that's going to go this late. I really don't want... I don't like going Marvin Mims because I can go Puka here if I want to go Paris Campbell. I really don't like going Marvin Mims solely for the fact that I can get Tim Patrick just like at the same cost, or for same value in my eyes, but Tim Patrick is very much going to be the better player in their offense. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take Paris Campbell as a flyer, maybe get Puka. I'm going to do a quick bathroom. So I will be right back. And we're back. Dawson Knox still on the board. That's probably our pick here. if he's here, he's a tight end that I like very, very much. Well, Renfro's a good pick too here. We're getting him at pretty good value. So it's either go Ferguson, I go Hunter Renfrow here, or I go Dawson Knox and Jake Ferguson. Or Fant. Oh, shoot. This one's a tough one. Because we could take the value here. I think I want to just risk. Yeah, let's just go Renfrow. Because I don't mind going Fant and Ferguson. I like the upside of Ferguson. And if Knox is still around on our next pick, it was meant to be. That's the way I'll look at that. Somebody's going to get a value. That's what's actually going to happen here. We definitely need to go 2 tight end and probably 1 more receiver. And we do know our last round pick. Or we can look Seattle, because we didn't get any Seattle receivers, did we? D. Eskridge. Yeah, you know, when you get a guy that has 13 targets on the year, I don't think I want to take him much. Will Disley had more than that, didn't he? A whole bunch more than that. Yeah, so unfortunately the Geno stack didn't turn out super, super strong. As long as we get Fant, I feel okay that it existed. Knocks off the board. So as long as we get Fant, I'm not like terribly sad about it, but because there is some stack at least. But at least we correlated everybody with some sort of pass catcher. Matt Collins will give us a little more uniqueness. Sorry, Timmy P. Tim Patrick is probably one of my favorite people to draft. I do have Drake London. I was gonna say, I do want to go. I'm like talking myself back into Tim Patrick, and I was just sitting there thinking about it, and I'm like, well, no, we don't need him in here anymore. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing if we went Trey McBride, actually. We'll put him back in here, and we'll decide between him and Ferguson when the picks come around. But we need to go Fant now. Lock in at least the little correlation. Luke Musgrave. Who's this guy? Went Jacoby Brissett. Interesting. Jacoby Brissett could actually be the starter still in Washington for all we know. Man, if I didn't have Bijan, I'd probably be smashing Cordero right now. The fact that he has pass catching upside again, not that he never didn't have it, but the fact that they're talking about him being that guy again is pretty nice in my eyes. Trey McBride comes off, so we're just going to look at whatever tight end that we like. Isaiah Likely is another guy we like a bunch. We've talked about it. But if Ferguson is there, I think I'm just going to go with the potential rookie upside. 11-5. Probably go like this. Excuse me. Man, my body is quitting on me. Can't say I'm too terribly surprised. Killing all the apps. I haven't done any slow drafts in a long time. I think I'm kind of at the point where I don't have any interest in doing slow drafts. Cordero comes off the board. Could have gone Josh Downs as our other receiver too. That's another option. No, we can't. It is funny how that happens to me. I feel like where I say bring up a player's name and they're off the board. So that would have stacked with Renfro as just kind of a sure, why not kind of thing. Cade Otton would be our other stack if we wanted to go with Taysom, but Taysom's his own thing. We got majority of this. Mainly I ended up liking where I'm at. So Likely comes off the board. This guy has two tight ends, Goddard and Schultz. I do see a world where he takes Ferguson right in front of our eyes. That's the last tight end I really would want. Unfortunately, I do think this I do think this needs to be a 8 wide receiver build, not a 4-6-7-3. I think that's the safest bet for us. Yeah, I do need to go to bed. Ferguson gives us that Dallas game stack, so I guess we can kind of go over the team to wrap this thing up a little bit quicker in the next round. So, so we got Justin Fields and the Desmond Ridder game stack for the quarterbacks, and to correlate, we got Bijan Robinson to go there, and we didn't take anybody else running back wise. Drake London and Darnell Mooney in that game, so that's a fun one. Geno Kenny Pickett game stack, Charbonnet and Jalen Warren on that. And wide receivers, we took nobody from Seattle. That's right. That one hurts a little bit. But we did get George Pickens and Noah Fant down here on that one. David Montgomery. We got Jake Ferguson late here. What else? A.J. Dillon. We got KJ Osborne again. That wraps up the running back room one. We didn't get anybody from Arizona to go with Devontae Smith. That's okay with me. Paris Campbell. No Rams to pair. No Indy players to pair with Hunter Renfrow. That's all right. So, not the worst case scenario by any means. We still could go Puka here if worst case scenario. Mac Hollins, for some reason, comes off the board. Not terribly worried about that. Same thing, Michael Wilson, I think, would be our third choice. And Dortch, let's just add him in as the fourth. Don't have to make anything too crazy. And Russell Gage, why not? We don't have to go that deep. But I think adding Mac Hollins makes the most amount of sense here. Just to give the wide receiver 2 on the team. Unless I'm crazy. I don't know who else is actually in. Let's try to look up that roster real quick before we make our pick. I think Mac Hollins is the 2 on the team. He sure is. Scotty Miller is the 3 on the team. Kyle Pitts is probably the 2 on the team, let's be honest. But this turned out pretty good. And if we get that, we can add to that Chicago game stack with Mac Hollins in there too. So pretty good across the board. 4 people from Atlanta, so that's a little scary in my eyes. Ooh, a lot of week 13 bye. That was a bad coincidence. We are going to, at least our primary receivers are not the ones on the week 13 bye. So they should be able to fill in these weeks for us just fine. So thank you guys for watching this live stream. For those of you who did stick around, Garage, Dustin, thanks for hanging out with us, chatting with us a little bit. If you guys want to hang out in any of our live streams, we're more than happy to come chit chat here and there, ask us any questions. We're all for whatever. It's been fun. I enjoyed this one. I'm just getting a little tired, if I'm being honest. This is normally my bedtime. I wake up at 5 for work every single day. So we are on the borderline of 8 hours right now asleep. So luckily, 6-day weekend for me. So happy 4th of July if we don't do anything in between then. Not sure what our plan is video-wise, but thank you guys for watching either which way. We really do appreciate any support that comes across on the channel, especially if you're watching this after. Until next time, I'm EJ. Thank you guys for watching again. I'll do one little last scroll of our team. We broke the 3,200 point mark. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. Till next time, thanks again. I'm EJ. Happy 4th of July for all you Americans. Happy days for everybody else. See you next time. Peace.